Hello, everyone. Hi, Cheryl Arkle. Hi, everyone. Welcome to What Are You Reading? It's Cheryl Arkle. You know how it works. I tell you what we're reading, and you tell us what you're reading. Welcome back. So for some of you, for those of you that are in Sydney, it's kind of semi-Freedom Week, not full Freedom Week, where it's 70% double vax, which is fantastic. So hopefully some of you have been able to get out and about. So welcome everyone. Better Reading, Cheryl Arkle, and this is What Are You Reading? So I'm hoping you're all there. If you are, you're very quiet, but I'm going to start with our book of the week. Now that book of the week, she matches my dress. Now I'm not seeing any comments, Dex, so I'm just wondering what's happening, because I can't believe for a minute that our viewers aren't there. Oh, here they are. They're coming in now. Birds of a Feather, Tricia Stringer, who was at the event last night. She is absolutely wonderful. This is her new book, When Three Women Are Thrown Together by Unusual Circumstances, Ruffled Feelings Are Just the Beginning. I love her. I love the way she writes. And also, she is going to be hosting What Are You Reading next week, next Thursday, I think. Yeah, or the Thursday after, maybe. Thursday after. Anyway, she will be hosting it. Here you are. You're all here. I was worried that none of you are watching today. Shona is reading Common Ground by Naomi Ishiguro. Oh, yes, Ishiguro. Judy, hi. We're finally out of lockdown. We are. You must be in Sydney. Yes, isn't that wonderful? Natalie, hello. Michelle, hi. Greetings from Melbourne. I'm not sure whether you guys are in lockdown or not. As you can all see, I finally got to the hairdresser yesterday and had a haircut. I so needed it. Do you know I feel lighter with shorter hair? So anyway, and hopefully that you guys have been able to get to a hairdresser. I never even thought about hairdressers until this lockdown, and then I thought, oh my God, can't live without them. Anyway, there you go. Michelle, greetings from Melbourne. Sharon, hi Sharon. Oh gosh, you're all back. I was so worried you weren't there. Stephanie, I'm reading Three Sisters by Heather Morris. We're going to put that up. Dex is going to put that up. I haven't got the book. You all know her, and this is the Tattooist of Auschwitz author, Heather Morris, and the book is Three Sisters. And I know a lot of you are reading it. Alison says, hi, Cheryl. Hi, Alison. Emily, Emily, you are my favourite person today. You know that. Emily just purchased John Brown Rose and the Midnight Cat. It is really my favourite book. Emily, you're going to have to tell me what you think. It doesn't take very long to read. You know my dog is John Brown, named after that John Brown. Now, my dog's not an English sheepdog, but he has the same personality. Enjoy it. It's such a beautiful book. It's great for adults and children, by Jenny Wagner. Lois, hi Lois. Natalie, oh thanks. Natalie says my hair looks lovely, and she's reading The Clockmaker's Daughter by Kate Morton and is loving it. Oh, fantastic. Kate hasn't had a new one for a while, has she? Win, hi Win. Recipes for a Kinder Life by Annie Smithers. Nice read. Actually, speaking of recipes, it's just made me remember that, and you'll all know this, that Eddie Jacques passed away this week. He is the author of The Happiest Man on Earth, and condolences to his family. And what can we say? May he rest in peace. I know so many of you have loved that book. He's not just a wonderful author, but he was also a survivor of Auschwitz. So our hearts go out to his family, and he died at 101 years old. Okay, Lee is reading The End of the Day by Liz Bursky. Love Liz. Malvina, hi Malvina. It's lovely to see you too. Is just finishing The Extraordinary Life of Sam Hell by Robert Dugoni. Wow, what a heartfelt book. Thank you. Stacey, Catch Us the Foxes by Nicola West, which we talked about and featured. Hey, listen, you all know that, I want to talk about this really briefly. You all know that my parents are Lebanese, and that we are Lebanese Australian. I talk about it often. My parents came out to Sydney in the 50s, and they kind of came and went, and then I'm born here, but there's 6 of us, and There's only 2 of us born here because they couldn't decide where they wanted to live, and you can imagine how hard immigrating is. But anyway, so I've got first cousins over there. I've got, you know, a lot of my parents' siblings are still alive and with big families, and so I've got beautiful cousins who live in Beirut. And I went to Beirut a few years back, and I've been there a couple of times. And as you know, the country is experiencing such terrible hardship at the moment. And this is a really wonderful book by Sharif Majindalni, and it's called The Collapse of a Civilization, a journal. I don't know if it's your type of book, but if you want to know a little bit more about the country and the people, this is such a beautiful read. Anyway, I just thought I'd flag that because it's a book that is very, very close to my heart. Okay, Vivian. Hi, Vivian. Vivian's in Sydney. I've lost my spot again, and I know Dex is going to get mad at me because I'm meant to be doing it the other way around. But you know I just can't do that. Vivian's reading House of Names by Colin Tobin and also The Beekeeper of Aleppo. Michelle, currently reading Lord Somerton's Heir by Alison Stewart and loving it so far. Nicole, hi Nicole, Jane and team. Jane's there and she's at the other end, and Jane's just said, hair looks lovely. Thank you, Jane. And I think Jane's doing What Are You Reading next week, and Tricia Stringer's doing it the week after. Is that right, Jane? Anyway, let us know. Marg, loved the talk last night. That was Tricia Stringer. She was fantastic. I love Tricia. Marg's currently reading Modern Marriage by Philip Vukanson, and Greetings from Melbourne, still in lockdown. Oh, Marge. Anyway, hopefully that's nearing an end. This week for us was 80% Freedom Week, not total freedom, but 80%. And I went to the hairdresser yesterday, as I said, and I double masked, and I was there, and I was so glad to have my hair cut. Gail, just finished Polly Grosby's new book, The Women of Pearl Island. Loved it, learnt a lot. Now, segue. I've got that right here. The Women of Pearl Island by Polly Grosby, a captivating new novel from the author of the Book of Hidden Wonders. That is the most beautiful cover, isn't it? Okay, so that's out too. I'm going to stack those books over here. What have we got? Oh, Funky Town by Paul Kennedy. Now, I think this is a memoir. I do know that it's a memoir. I was going to say I think it's a proof, but it's not. I picked up the proof earlier. Paul Kennedy's Funky Town is a vivid, true story of a year in the life of a teenager leaping into manhood. It's a coming-of-age story, and really beautifully written. And I think Paul's from Victoria, so what a wonderful cover too on that book. Anyway, that's out now too. So that's that. What else have I got? Oh, gosh, wow, Chris Hammer. Need I Say More? Treasure and Dirt, standalone book. It's a superb thriller. I know you all know it and love it. And he's the best-selling author of Scrubland, Silver and Trust, and that's his new book. Okay, I'm sure that that's been on the bestseller list. Carolyn, hi Carolyn. Hi Anne, I saw you at the event too last night. Karen, hi Cheryl, currently reading The Inside Man by James Phelps. Just finished Other People's Houses by Kelly Hawkins, an amazing story about grief. Julietta, our resident author. Happy Freedom, thank you. Reading Little B, Chris Cleve, yikes, yeah, exactly. Paveen says hello. Hi, Paveen. Jane Harvey just finished Digging Up Dirt. We love her. Pamela. I've forgotten her surname now. I do that every time. It's Pamela Freeman, Pamela something else. She's got a pseudonym. And The Mystery Woman by Belinda Alexandra. Both fabulous reads, and they are, Jane, aren't they? Okay. Rita says John Brown book is lovely. Everybody that loves John Brown books is a friend of mine. That's for sure. Okay, Sally Ann, good to see you, Cheryl. Good to see you too, Sally Ann. Hope you are well. Your hair looks terrific. Thank you, Sally Ann. I am reading The Island by Aldous Huxley. Wow, that's an oldie, but a goldie. Kelly, thank you, Kelly. Kelly said my hair looks fabulous. Reading Crossroads, wonderful so far. Okay, now, I say, this is Caroline Overington, the lovely Caroline. Could you see that book really matches my top? Well, that's accidental. But anyway, now do you know this was an audio book first and it got up 250,000 downloads. I call it the Cuckoo's Cry, but it's the Cuckoo's Cry. I've been corrected by Dex and I've been directed by Caroline. But anyway, this is her new book. You know her. She's a wonderful writer. And she's also the literary editor of The Australian. And she's doing an event for us. I think she's next week's event. Is that right, everybody? Let me just check that. Yes, it is. Wednesday, the 20th of October. Caroline Overington is going to be joining us Wednesday, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And she will talk to you more about the Cuckoo's Cry. And it's not the Cuckoo's Cry, but that's what I say. Anyway, right, what else have we got? Can I just say I spoke to James Han-Matson. I recorded a podcast with him the other day. This is horror. Well, it's not really. There's a little bit of horror in it, but it is really a fabulous story about all these people. And it reminded me of Donna Tartt's Secret History. You know, when you really don't like any of the characters in the book, but you're absolutely fixated and glued to it. It really does take the horror subject while also using the genres. It's been delivering twists and fright and the kind of storytelling that keeps you turning the pages. Really wonderful writer. I think this is going to be huge. Okay, and you heard that here. Now, I was going to ask you a question, and I forgot what that question was. So I am going to ask you now, how many books, can you tell me how many books you've read this year? Not exact, roundabout. I just want to know roughly how many books you guys read in a year. So we're only up to October. But if you can give me a rough, I don't know, some of you might keep a diary. I've met a lot of people that keep a diary of the books that they read and they know exactly what book number they're up to. But you may not do that. But if you can just grab a figure, like is it a book a week or whatever. Okay, so Sally Ann. Hi, Sally Ann. Good to see you too. I'm really well, and thank you. Thank you. I'm very happy with my hair. Kelly, thank you. Natalie Burke. Di Morrissey usually releases a new book every October, but I haven't heard or seen anything of you. Now, you know what? I don't know, but we will check and we will find out. You know who has got one this year is Judy Nunn, and the book is Showtime. Actually, you might want to put that up for me, Dex, because I don't have the book here. Do you know, because of Australia Post, we're not receiving all the books that we're meant to. Paveen, hi. Rita, I'm reading Ronnie Khan, A Repurposed Life. Do you know, I recorded a wonderful podcast with Ronnie back when that book was released. Actually, hey, do you know that we've got new artwork for our podcast? I think Dex is going to put that up. We had that stack of books. This is our brand. Tell me what you think of it, because I really like it. So our podcast is called Stories Behind the Story because it's how the writer came to tell, you know, to talk about their story. And we've had that stack of books that was kind of illustrated from day one, but we've decided that we needed a bit of a zhuzhia. Actually, Jane decided that our podcast needed a bit of a facelift. So there it is, new art, new look, new. So that will just come up automatically if you're on podcast. That'll just come up on your feed. Okay, Katie's reading The Fossil Hunter by T. Cooper. Susan, The President's Daughter, Clinton and Clinton and Rodham. That is new, isn't it? Is that new, Susan? Donna, yes, very sad. I'm not quite sure what you're... Oh, yes, you're referring, of course, you're referring to Eddie Jaku. It is very, very sad, isn't it? What a wonderful big life he had. Heike is in Perth, just finished When the Music Stops by Joe Heap, loved it. And I'm reading At the End of the Day by Liz Bursky. We love Liz. Christine, hi Christine, is currently rereading The Happiest Man on Earth by Eddie Jaku. Lois, chuckling my way through the Thursday Murder Club. I Have the Man Who Died Twice waiting. Good. Susan, Clinton and Patterson, yes. Keisha, Keisha says, hope you're enjoying being out of lockdown. I can't tell you how much I'm enjoying being out of lockdown. Really, I mean, it is so tough, isn't it, for all of us? I think it's particularly, I mean, you know, a lot of people say to me, it's tough if you're with your family. It's tough if you live, I mean, I live alone and I just really found it very hard. But anyway, it's over, hopefully. Keisha's reading Silka's Journey by Heather Morris, and that is the one before this new one, I think. Chris, hi Chris, just finished Apples Never Fall. That's Leo Moriarty and loved it. Have just started the new Liz Bursky book. Got a hankering to read Wuthering Heights again. Oh, wonderful. Diane, I will be starting This Much Is True by Miriam Margolyes tonight after I finish The Postmistress. Fantastic. Now, what else? Permafrost by S.J. Norman. I recorded a podcast with SJ. I mean, it was the most wonderful chat. This is a collection of short stories. And I know some of you have already read it. It's getting rave reviews. Watch out for SJ. Really wonderful, clever artists and talented in lots of different art mediums, and writing is just one of them. Okay, so that's out now as well. What else have we got here? Summer of Serenity by Nicola Marsh. So Opposites Clash. Nicola's huge bestseller in the US, but she's an Australian woman, and it's a new small town romance. Isn't that a beautiful cover? Okay, what else have we got? Oh, wow, this one, because everybody is talking about Immortals. He's the author of Just a Gentleman in Moscow, and this is The Lincoln Highway. And it starts in Times Square in New York City, and the Lincoln Highway itself, and it ends at 3,390 miles away in Union Square in San Francisco. San Francisco is one of my favorite places, my second home, and it passes right through Central City, Nebraska, just 20 miles from the house. So this is really a great thriller. Okay, and that's out now as well. What else? Oh, gosh, there's so many books. The Shadow House by Anna Downs. Don't we just love her? Hey, have we talked to you? If you're on Instagram, some authors like Jane Tara, one of our very own in-house authors, Anna Downs, we're doing this little series on Instagram stories and TikTok, and it's a day in the life of, and the authors tell us what their writing day looks like. So look out for it, because it's really quite cute. I'm loving it, actually. Okay, right, where are we? Nikki, hi Nikki. Nikki is reading this Trauma Cleaner by Sarah Krastenstein, and a wonderful book. Again, a book that's been around for a while, but just a wonderful story. And a hard story, but she's a wonderful writer as well. It's about a woman that goes around cleaning up after murder scenes and crashes and all sorts of things. Jill reading Daughters of War by Dana Jeffries. Barbara is reading I Shot the Devil. Judy, I'm reading Dracula as part of a spooky October. That's right. Remember last week, because it was Kirsty Clements that was on last week. And I didn't know, because Kirsty and I are friends, and I didn't know she loves horror and spookiness so much. But I learned that while I was watching it. But this is Kirsty's new book. Why Did I Buy That? It's a really good book, very practical guide to dressing yourself if you're interested. I mean, they're probably shoes I wouldn't wear, but I found the advice in this book really practical. Okay. What have we got? Kathy, 5 new books this morning to cheer me up after being sick for 3 weeks. Well, I hope you're feeling better, Kathy, and you deserve them. Lois, I listened to Paul Kennedy on Conversations. Would definitely read the book. Yes, that's the memoir that we just talked about. I'm just going to hold that up again. Funky Town, there it is. Okay. All right, what else have we got? Bev, hi Bev. Bev is reading Say Goodbye by Karen Rose. Love all her books. Trisha's talk last night was also great fun. I know, isn't Trisha great? Hello, Mary. Christina, love your segment, Cheryl. Oh, thank you, Christina. Do you know, I love it too. Do you know what I love? I love speaking to you guys. And I know I say this to you every week, but after the segment in the evening, after I go home and finish my work and walk my dog, I always lay on the lounge and go through and read all your comments again. And they just make me feel so happy. So thank you. It's really, I mean, you know, this segment wouldn't exist without you readers. So there you go. Currently have 2 of Tricia Stringer's book. This is Christina on the go. Upstairs is Birds of a Feather, and downstairs is Something in the Wine. Love all her books. I love that, Christina. A book for upstairs and a book for downstairs. Does anyone else do that? Love that. I've only got one level, but I have a few going in each room. But as I said, when I'm reading fiction, it's straight through. Non-fiction, maybe I'll dip in and out. Caroline, Trisha's Stringer was great, so interesting and so nice. She really is. She really is just so lovely. Jan finished Belly Dancers for Beginners by Liz Bursky this morning. Wonderful. Meryl, reading The Inheritance by Gabriel Bergmoser. Louise just picked up The Paris Seamstress by Natasha Lester. We love Natasha. And hello, Anne. I know I say this every time, but Anne is my lovely neighbour, and she is reading Seven Sisters. Good read. Thanks for recommending. Pleasure. John says hi. Mary, I listened to Cuckoo's Cry on Audible a while ago. Loved it. Well, that's right. It was on Audible, and now it's a book. Downloaded 250,000 times. Christine says The Cuckoo's Cry is on my to-read list. Looking forward to next week. Yes, Caroline. Nicole, now we're up to how many books people have read this year. So we're counting from January to October, and today's October the 14th. So Nicole has read 40. Stephanie, this is not a competition, but I'm impressed. Stephanie, 45 books. Michelle, 49 books read so far. Bev, 85 books approximately. Astrid, 40-ish today. Gosh, Helena said she doesn't count. I don't either. Jane, around 50. Oh, Marion, on my 34th book. Wow. Stacey, 35 so far, but I usually read one a week. Wow. Wynne, 43 so far. Marge, 71, and I do a keep list. Wow, I'm impressed, Marge. I really am. Vivian, 96 books thus far. Wow. Christine, 52 books today. Honestly, I think you people should be running this segment. Wow, I'm so impressed. Barbara, probably on my 40th book. Mary, good reads to keep track. Wow, there you go. Alison, up to my 29th book for the year. Yay, everyone. Sandra, 40. Mary, 76. Wow. Judy, 50, only because of lockdowns. Still impressive, Judy. Kathy, on my 29th at the moment. Rita, 39 books since Feb this year. Heaps more than last year. Yeah, well, I guess it's the circumstances, but well done. Okay, Malvina. She gets the prize. 150 books this year. I count them via Goodreads. Some are short romances, easy to read in a day. Others are longer. Well, congratulations to you, Malvina. What a wonderful way to spend your life is reading books. Lois, I keep a list too, up to about 35 this year. Lee, around 50. And I haven't read as many books as I would have liked this year. That's fair enough. Oh, my God, Sharon, I've read 96 books so far for the year. I keep track on Goodreads too. You're all keeping track. Karen does the same, and she's up to 81 books this year. The podcast cover is lovely. Thank you, Christine. I really do love the podcast cover. Okay, podcast out this week. Tom Keneally. Do you know, I would say, Tom Keneally's probably mid-80s. This is a new book of his, Corporal Hitler's Pistol. This is a proof, but the cover's very similar. I spoke to him the other day. I just love that man. Do you know, he was able to sort out and get onto Zoom so I could speak with him, and we always have the loveliest conversations. I've known him for so long. He calls me Arkle. He doesn't use my first name for some reason, but he is just genuinely the world's most loveliest person, but also the most interesting, and I would say he's an Australian treasure. So that's Tom Keneally's new book, and that's out now. Oh, I want to mention Sally Rooney, because Beautiful World, Where Are You? A lot of people have been talking about this. You know Sally from Normal People, and I think that's been on the bestseller list, and congratulations to Sally. Okay, what else have I got? Let me tell you all the things I've got. We talked about Showtime. Were you going to put up Showtime? Because not only are we talking about, there it is, Judy Nunn. So that's Dex is putting that up. You know, Dex does such a wonderful job doing the back end. He tries to teach me new tricks, but I'm not good at learning them, just so you know. And also, Dex, can you put up Into the Rip by Damien Cave? So the new podcast this week are Judy Nunn and Tom Keneally and Damien Cave, Into the Rip. And Dex will put those up in a minute. Now, I want to share some really big news with you guys. Often you people ask me, all you lovely readers, ask me if you can buy the book or where can you buy the book. We have refigured our website so you can buy directly from us through our affiliate programs. So it's not our bookstore, but we have affiliates with, we have relationships with Big W, Booktopia, Amazon and Apple. So if you want to buy from any of those online retailers, go through our website. Anytime you click on a book now, there will be an option to buy it from any one of those people. Now, if it's an audio book as well, we also have a relationship with Belinda Audio as well. But you can buy audio through Audible, as you know. Now, if there's not a retailer there that you like using and we haven't linked to it, let us know, because we could contact them and ask them if they want to be part of the program. But you can buy books from us now, so isn't that wonderful? Now, that's not to say we don't love independent bookshops, we don't love libraries. You know, get your books from wherever you want to get them, absolutely. I mean, I always run up to Berkeley at Leichhardt. But if you're buying online and you want to buy that book straight away, please use our link. Okay, Christine said that our podcast cover is lovely. Thank you, Christine. I'm reading that out again because I do love it. Do you want to put that back up? And put up Into the Rip by Damien Cave. Oh, there's the podcast. Isn't Dex wonderful? Just like magic. There's our podcast cover. I love it. I also love that dress. Into the Rip, Damien Cave. That is one of my favourite podcasts. It's a really good book. Damien is the bureau chief of New York Times Australia, and he talks about the comparison between Australia and the US, which is where he's from. And he and his wife and 2 kids have moved to Sydney. Anyway, really great conversation. Okay, Louise, not read, 37 audiobooks to date. Good on you, Louise. That's great. Donna, I keep track of my reading on Goodreads. So far, I've read 25 books. I've just read The Midnight Library by Matt Haig and The Redhead by the Side of the Road by Anne Tyler. I absolutely love both for different reasons. Okay, now I've lost my spot yet again, but bear with me. Now, have I told everybody everything I meant to tell you? I think so. Hang on, I'm just going to go back. Oh, here we go. Anne, my neighbour Anne, no idea how many books, but probably one a week. Well done, you. Keisha, I've read 32 so far. Natalie, I keep a reading journal, and this year I've read 21 books. Good on you, Natalie. Jan, 74 so far, and I keep a reading diary. Good for you guys. Jane, over 200. Some were novellas. Currently reading Treasure and Dirt by Chris Hammett. Jane, congratulations. Wow, good for you. Susan, up to 40 books so far this year. Freckles by Cecilia Ahern. But she has 10 on her bedside table. Helena, people that read all those books, 50 plus, if asked to do all, remember each story and plot, maybe not, but that doesn't matter, does it? I mean, I feel that for me, I mean, it's a good point, Helena, but I think for me, I don't remember things. I don't even remember some Netflix things that I watch, but it's the story in the moment. And when you're in that book for the moment, that's all that matters. I mean, well, that's what it is for me. But let me know. Of course, you're not going to remember all the stories and plot, but you are going to enjoy and be in that story at that moment, I think. Sandra, we've got to go soon. Grown Ups by Marianne Keyes is what she's reading. Chris, about 14 books, only read at night except for holidays. Lord Howe Island, hopefully in 2 weeks. Oh, I hope you get there. Joy Bell. Hi, Joy Bell. Helen, hi, everyone. I've just started The Buchanan Girls. Sally Ann, I've read 31 books so far this year. Joy Bell, just starting. Joy Detman's The Hope Flower. Donna, just read I Shot the Devil. Nicole, I try to make notes in my Goodreads. Often I forget things that happen, but I never forget how a book made me feel. There you go. And it really is about that, isn't it? I agree with that, Nicole. Helena just finished See What You Made Me Do. Very heavy, confronting, and excellent. Kim said she really enjoyed Trisha last night. Okay, I've got to go, because we are half an hour. Natalie, I was feeling impressed with my number of books read, but now I feel very slow. And you know what? It's also very personal. Now, listen, I'm going to go, but I will read your comments this evening. Don't forget, you can buy books on our website now. Just click through Facebook and follow the links and get to where you need to be. New podcast artwork. And Caroline Overington's going to be with us next Wednesday night. Jane is back to do What Are You Reading next week. Do you know, can I tell you all, this is a secret. This is a secret, but I'm going to tell you, right? It's just a secret for us. The reason why I'm not here next Thursday is because I'm going to be with Channel 10 and we are recording a Christmas What Are You Reading for Studio 10. So I'm going to be back on telly. I mean, do you know it was 10 years since I was on TV, since I did The Circle, and I know a lot of you remember that. But anyway, next week I'm recording a segment that goes to air in December. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. So Jane's going to come in and sit in the chair, and hopefully when we get to 80%, Jane and I can be here together. Anyway, thank you all for joining me. You know that I adore all of you, and thank you so much for supporting us, and I will see you when I see you. Take care.